Okay, so we are going to continue with our pronoun notes, and today we're going to move on to possessive pronouns, and then in a few minutes we're going to talk about indefinite pronouns. So I want you to make sure you have both of these charts open and ready to go. First, we're going to be taking notes over some possessive pronouns, and then we're going to be doing intensive. So be careful with intensive because this is actually at the bottom of the back. So when we get to that, I'll remind you of that. And then you also need to make sure that you have these notes out. Subject and object should be filled out by now. And now we're moving on to possessive, and then in just a few minutes we will go on to intensive, which again is at the farthest to the right on the back. Alright, so starting with possessive pronouns, and just a reminder, you can always pause or rewind to make sure you don't miss anything, but you should definitely be taking notes on your blank chart. Okay, so pronouns in the possessive case show ownership or possession. I would write that down. Okay, pronouns in the possessive case show ownership or possession. So possessive pronouns show ownership. Okay, and then here's a list that you could write down in the blank chart, and then I'll tell you for the gray chart in just a second. Okay, so first person, my, mine, our, ours. Second person, your and yours. And then third person, his, her, hers, its, their, theirs. So third person, there's a lot of possessive pronouns. Okay, so for example, is your homework finished? And remember, it's really smart to write down some examples so that you can look back and quickly remember with your examples. So is your homework finished? Your, the homework belongs to you, so your is a possessive pronoun. And then the second one, I have also done mine. I have also done mine. Okay? And then mine would be the possessive pronoun. Okay, so in our possessive gray chart for first person, we have, for singular, we have, talking about just one person, my and mine. It just depends on which part of the sentence you're using it. The example we just saw used mine. Okay, usually mine is used in the object, usually mine is used in the subject, not always. Okay, for second person, you have your, because I'm talking to you about your something. Okay, your is the possessive, singular possessive pronoun for second person. For third person, we have a lot, okay? So it could be his, it could be her, it could be its. Notice that this its does not have an apostrophe. Does not have an apostrophe. It with an apostrophe s is a contraction for it is. So the possessive pronoun does not have an apostrophe. Okay, and then you can also have hers here, and this kind of trips people up sometimes because they think, oh, since there's hers, there can be his's. And no, his's is not a word. Let me show you. So, for example, his car is out in the parking lot. Okay, you can also say that car out in the parking lot is his. Notice how I used his both times. Okay, the example with her is a little different. So her car is out in the parking lot. And then I can change it just how I did with his to say that car out in the parking lot is hers. See the difference? Okay, rewind that if that was confusing. Okay, so first person plural, that means you're talking about more than one person, but you are still included. I am still included. So our or ours for the possessive plural first person pronoun. For second person plural, yours. This could also be yours right here. And if I'm talking to a large group of people, I could just say your homework. So this could be your or yours. Okay? Second person always is very similar for singular and plural. Okay? Third person, their or theirs. So pause this if you don't have everything down yet, because I'm going to move on. pause if you still need to get this down. Okay, going on with possessive pronouns, the possessive pronouns mine, yours, his, hers, its, ours, and theirs can be used as subjects and objects. Okay, subject, your coat is warm, mine is too. Direct object, we made ours with soft yarn, talking about something that we made that belonged to us. Could be like a blanket. We made ours with soft yarn. As an indirect object, mother gave hers a quick glance. And then object of the preposition, next to yours, my gloves look dirty. But you can see how each of these words that went over, mine, yours, his, hers, its, ours, theirs, can be used as subjects and objects. Okay? All right, so we're going to make sure that we can choose the correct form in the parentheses. Okay, so for the first one, my or mine is by the door. And the answer is mine. Okay? If you said my, you would have to have another word here. My blank is by the door. My clipboard's by the door. My pen is by the door. My cat is by the door. But since it doesn't have that, you have to say mine is by the door. Okay, number 2, Shelley is proud of her or hers little brother. The answer is her. Number 3, compared with their or theirs, our or ours bus is new. Okay, so this one gets a little tricky. So you have to say compared with theirs, because remember, it doesn't have a blank right here. Okay, our or ours bus is new. Now here we do have that blank. Okay, so we would say our bus is new. If bus wasn't here, okay, and it said compared with theirs, ours is new would be the right answer. But since we do have bus, then we have to use our. Okay, and then the last one is that one that I reminded you about, okay, when we first talked about it. So the dog wagged its or its tail happily. Some people might think, oh, it's showing ownership. I have to use apostrophe S. Not in this case, right? Because it, apostrophe S, is a contraction for it is, okay? Whenever we are using it as a possessive pronoun, there is no contraction. All right, and here's some more practice. I always say to pause it here and try to practice on your own before I write in the answer. So go ahead and pause it, try to practice it on your own in your head. Here are the correct answers. Okay, a lot of these would work here. You could say her books are on the shelf, his books are on the shelf, your books are on the shelf. You could say my books are on the shelf. Any of these would work. Okay, number 2, have you finished eating your breakfast yet? Because I'm talking to you. Okay. Number 3, Miss Thompson graded Wayne's paper and then she gave blank her complete attention. You could say him, which is not a possessive pronoun. Okay. Maybe this one was supposed to be blanked out for that one. That one's kind of weird. Okay. Number 4, I can't remember blank phone number. You could say your, you could say her, you could say his. You could say their, if more than one person had the same phone number. Okay, a lot would work here. Number 5, last weekend we raked blank front yard and swept blank sidewalk. Okay, so we could say our front yard and then our sidewalk. Okay, or maybe we were talking about somebody else's, we could say their. We could say their. Oh, sorry, I don't really know what happened. If you were also talking about a specific person, you could say his or her as well. Okay? So hopefully a lot of this was review, and we're going to move on to indefinite pronouns. All right, moving on to indefinite pronouns, and remember that you guys need to have out your charts. You need to have out the gray chart, and you need to have out the blank chart for notes. Okay? So on the blank chart for notes, it's on the back. Oh, and I lied to you first. Just kidding. It's not furthest to the right. It's furthest to the left. Indefinite pronoun. Sorry, guys. Okay, and then you also need to make sure you have out your gray charts. And I lied to you on this one too. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. So indefinite is at the top of the back. For some reason, I was reading intensive as indefinite. Indefinite is at the top of the back. I'm really sorry. Indefinite is the top of the back, okay? Okay, so indefinite pronouns, we have gone over these a little bit in our warm-ups. So an indefinite pronoun refers to a non-specific person or thing. Like all pronouns, an indefinite pronoun is a substitute for a noun. So remember that pronouns take the place of nouns, okay? And then indefinite pronouns refers to an indefinite or general person or thing, okay? I would go ahead and write that part down. All right, so here's a list. Don't write these down in your grade charts yet. Do not write these down in your grade charts yet, okay? Do not write down your grade charts. All right, so an indefinite pronoun, here's a list. So go ahead and write these down in your blank notes, the ones that you're on right now, okay? Just some examples. All, any, anyone, anything, each, everybody, everyone, few, many, nobody, none, several, some, someone, okay? And we're going to go through some examples. I'll come back to that slide in just a second, okay? Just kidding. Okay, so here's some examples if you want to get some more down. And then we're going to go on to the grade chart. So on your grade chart, this is really important. On your grade chart, cross out first person, second person, and third person, and just categorize by plural or singular. So really cross out. Like, I don't want you guys to get confused. So really cross out first, second, and third person over on the left. Okay, and I'll show you this in just a second. And we're just going to categorize by plural and singular. Okay, and I'm going to come back to this slide in just a second. So on your chart, not that. I have so many tabs open. Okay, so on your chart, in the back of the top, remember, okay, on this chart, I want you guys to really, my tablet turned off. Okay, so I want you guys to really cross out, so at the top of the back, we're indefinite, cross out first person, cross out second person, cross out third person. You do not need these for indefinite pronouns, okay? Cross it out. Okay, we're just going to categorize indefinite pronouns from singular and plural indefinite pronouns. And if I were you, I would put a star right here and write one body thing rule, and like highlight that, star it, put a cloud around it. Super important. Okay? All right, we're going to go back so that you can copy some examples down. All right, so you can see on this chart the singular, so write this in your singular column, and the plural pronouns. Okay, so these are singular, so you can write this on the singular side, and this is plural. Okay, these can be singular or plural. If you want to make a special box for these somewhere on your grade chart and say it can be singular or plural, I might do that. It just depends on the context. Look at context. Okay, so going back to the one body thing rule. If the pronoun ends in one body or thing, a singular word, each one of these is singular, body is singular, one is singular, thing is singular. If it ends in one body or thing, that indefinite pronoun is singular, which I know sometimes is hard to think about because when you look at everybody, the word everybody, you think, oh, everybody, that's talking about more than one person, that means it's plural. Well, it's not, because the word itself, everybody, is singular. So therefore you have to use pronouns that agree with singular pronouns. Okay? So sometimes that is the most tricky part with indefinite pronouns. Okay? These are all plural. So your chart could look maybe a little bit something like this. I'm not going to be able to remember all of them. And remember, if you need to go back and pause because I'm going too quickly between slides, please do that. Okay? So since we crossed out first, second, third person, we just have a singular column and a plural column. Maybe you can make that little box I was talking about around here and say can be singular or plural, singular / plural. You can say look at the context and write some of those examples in this box. Okay? And then on singular, I would definitely have some examples with the one body thing rule. So everybody, someone, and we got like each, neither. Oh gosh, I'm so bad with the I before E rule. Sorry, you guys. Anything. Anyone. Okay. There are a lot for singular. Okay. So go back to that slide in just a second and get some more down. So plural could be few, several, all. All can also be singular. So just be careful. Okay. So go back to the chart we were just in. Discard. Go back. Let's see. Indefinite pronouns. Okay, so both, few, many, others, several, those can all be plural. And then pronouns that can be singular or plural, all, any, more, most, none, some, such. Okay, and if you want to get down a bunch of these singular ones, go for it. Okay, but you do not have to write that whole list. That would be crazy. But definitely write down one body thing rule. If it ends in one body or thing, it is singular. All right, so here's an example of some singular indefinite pronouns. Okay, each of the members has one vote. The subject is each, which is singular, so you have to use has, not have. Some people would say each of the members have one vote because members is plural, but that's not what you're talking about. You're talking about each of them. Each is singular, so you have to use has, which is the singular verb that can match. Okay? And then the one down at the bottom, one of the girls gave up her seat. One refers to singular, so you can't say one of the girls gave up their seat because you're only talking about one girl. So you have to say her seat. Okay, here's an example of plural, correct? A few of the justices were voicing their opinions. Opposition, just kidding. That's why I moved that. So few is plural, so you have to use were and their. Okay? Notice that were is also plural, there is also plural. All right, be very careful with the ones that can be singular or plural. You have to make sure you're reading the context and fully understand. So it says, for indefinite pronouns that can be singular or plural, it depends on what the indefinite pronoun refers to. So correct, all of the people clap their hands. All is referring to people, which is a plural word. It refers to more than one person, okay? So you have to use the word that matches, which is also plural, which is their. You can't say all the people clapped his or her hands because you're talking more than one person, okay? And then also correct, all of the newspaper was soaked. Here, all of the newspaper, you're only talking about one newspaper. So here, all refers to a singular word. So you have to use was, which is the verb in this situation, which is singular. You can't say were because you're only talking about one newspaper. So make sure you get this. If you want to pause and read through this again, I'd do that. Ooh. Okay, so let's try some. All of the bread was fresh because we're only talking about bread here. So I'm going to just fill this in for you. If you want to pause it and see if you can do it on your own, that might be a good idea. Or do it with a friend and then check your answers. Okay, number 2, some of the fans shouting at the umpire. I think there's supposed to be a blank right here. Okay, some of the fans blank shouting at the umpire. So fans is plural, so I have to use were, even though sometimes some can be singular. Okay, number 3, most of the boys blank to go hiking. Like to go hiking. Can't say likes because it's not singular. It is plural. Okay, number 4, both of the movies were exciting. Both of my parents have a job not has, because I'm talking about both of them, right? Both is the indefinite, both is the indefinite, most indefinite, some, all. Okay. Oh gosh, hold on, 2 seconds. Okay, and then the last one, number 6, each of the flags has a special design on them. Each of the flags has a special design on them. Each is singular. This is an interesting one. Each of the flags have a special design on them. So yeah, it would be has, okay? Because you're talking about each specific one. This word should actually be it. So this is a tricky question because this last pronoun should be it. Each of the flags has a special design on it because each is singular. All right, and then let's see if there's any more example. Here's where people mess up. Okay, so this is what I was talking about before. Be really careful. The pronouns ending with one, body, or thing. Okay, anybody, somebody, no one, anyone, everything. Okay, they're singular. Okay, so are pronouns like each and every. Words like all or some may be singular. So that means you have to be super, super careful with the context in this situation. Okay, with indefinite pronouns, you have to be super careful within the context. Okay, so incorrect is everyone happy with their gift. A lot of people speak that way, and it sounds okay, but it's incorrect because everyone is singular, so that means I cannot use a plural possessive pronoun to match. I'll have to use a singular one, so I can say his or her to match the singular indefinite pronoun. Okay, so you now have practice over indefinite and possessive pronouns, so you need to do that before we begin class on Wednesday, okay? If you need more practice, you can go ahead and pause this if you'd like, and I'm going to fill out the right answers. So go ahead and pause it. All right, these are the correct answers. If you have any questions about these or you're confused about one, please go ask your teacher. Re-watch this, do some extra practice, and then go ahead and take your skill check for possessive and indefinite pronouns.